Hello and welcome to Consciousness Now TV. I'm your host, Dr. Veronica Tracy-Smith. I'm also a therapist and an author and a coach. And I'm welcoming you today. This is the second in a series on meditation. And today I want to talk about going a little bit deeper and how you can go deeper with your mind that wants to jump over here and jump over there. Now our ego loves to jump around and it likes to resist any growth that we actually want to do for ourselves. So there can be a part of us, maybe our higher self, or if you want to call it your best self, that says, hey, I want to do some growth for myself. I want to connect more to my spirit. I want to create the sacred space. The last video is on creating your sacred space and using a mantra and making a commitment for 90 days to do your meditation. I know that might sound overwhelming at first, but if you create 5 minutes and add on and just make a commitment. Making a commitment is one of the greatest, biggest steps that you can make in your life for anything. When you make a commitment, and I mean a real commitment to say, I'm going to do this, and whatever blocks come my way, I will deal with them. This video is about the blocks. So let's talk about that for a minute. The blocks that come our way come from our ego resisting. And our ego says, I don't want to change. I don't want to do it different. I want to do it my way. I want to have control. That's the ego speaking. And sometimes our ego can be a smaller child ego. I want it and I want it now, right? And we all have it. It's part of the human condition. So if that's you, it's certainly me. Say, oh, I forgive that part of myself. And it is also about being part of human nature and part of the human race, right? So, okay. We're going to forgive ourselves for that. We're going to be compassionate. And that is the number one thing I want to talk about. Your mind, you'll use your mantra or you'll do your relaxation. You'll start to get calm, or you might feel resistant from the very start. And you use your mantra, let's call it love for now. Love, breathing in love. You can breathe in love and out peace. You can have 2 pieces to your mantra or whatever works for you. The rosary, for some people, that's their mantra. Anything that works for you. And as you're doing that, then your mind begins to calm down and you can let go of that mantra. So just release it, let it go, and let your mind be in stillness. And then what is going to happen? Yeah, your ego is going to say, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Here's my list of things to do. For me, that used to happen a lot. And it still does, but more what happens for me is I start getting into my creative zone and all these creative ideas come. And I promise you that if you do any amount of time of your own meditation practice, your creativity will begin to flow as well, if it hasn't already. So know that that is a huge opening to your creativity. But you want to bring your mind back to stillness. So a mantra is a way to do that. Now some people will say, no, I don't want a mantra, I want to just go into silence. And that is another way to do it. So you just go into the silence, and then as your brain goes off to your to-do list or your creativity or whatever it might be, or a lot of times it'll bring up conflict, what you can do is say, okay, I have a recorded message that's going to pick up those things and I'll take care of them later. They'll be on my recorded message machine in another part of my brain. And I'm going to let go of them if you fear that, oh my gosh, you're not going to remember. So you can just keep bringing yourself back to your mantra or to the silence in a very forgiving way, to know that part of the process is really your mind wandering off. So as you do that, know my mind's going to wander off and I'm going to keep bringing it back. My mind's going to wander off, I'm going to bring it back. Instead of saying, I should be with myself and I'm trying to be with my spiritual self and I'm trying to connect with my higher self. Give yourself a break. This is totally normal and you're human, and that's what your brain does, okay? Eventually it'll get easier and easier, and the goal is to be able to stay in the silence for a longer and longer period of time. And you will do that, I promise, if you make a commitment. Do the 90 days first and then add another 90 days if you already meditate. If you already meditate and you've been having a hard time, you might want to try switching things around. Try a different mantra, try a different technique. In my book, Meditation Now, Your Guide to Building a Simple Practice. It's a beginner's guide. It's a very small book, very tiny book, and it also has an online training environment for people who are just starting out in meditation. So that's another way to go, and I'm also going to add this video on that. So you could be seeing it there, or you could be seeing this on Consciousness Now TV. So anyway, I encourage you to be forgiving with yourself. Keep bringing your mind back. That's all you have to do. Bring your mind back to the silence or back to your mantra, knowing that that is part of the process. Thank you and have a great day. And I encourage you to continue to create the sacred space for yourself to go on your own mystical journey.